Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Joining us from Nova Southeastern, their head coach, Jim Crutchfield, Eddie Puisis, and Nick Smith, our student athletes. And once again, normal protocol. We'll start off, Coach Crutchfield will offer an opening comment, then we'll let you speak with student athletes for a moment, and then we'll excuse the student athletes and then let you have some questions for Coach. So, Coach, talk a little bit about today's game.
Well, congrats to Black Hills. They played a very good game. They were well prepared. They played hard. I think anytime that you pull down 55 rebounds with a plus 20 on the boards, it's a good indication of how hard you play and your willingness to get out and get after it. So they did that. I'm still really proud of my team. I feel like they battled to the very end. Not a great shooting day. 25 for 76 is our lowest shooting percentage of the year, but maybe Black Hills had something to do with that too. So just congrats to them. Proud of players. Every season ends on a loss unless you win the national championship, and this is where ours came today.
We'll open it up now for questions for our student athletes. Virtually, if you are tuning in, you can use the Q&A to type in your questions. And once again, we'll have the microphone passed around. Go ahead and start us off.
Nick, obviously you had a couple of struggles in the regional and the semis in the championship game. Did that make you a little bit more, I guess, nervous going into this because you had pretty much rolled through most of the season? I know every game gets tougher and it gets tougher. Were there any jitters coming into this, or was that completely history?
No, I think that was history. If anything, I thought that would be beneficial to us. Playing in 2 close games. But, one game, anything can happen. And 8 for 32 from 3, 25-76. We just didn't have it today. So here we are.
As a question for Nick and Eddie, you guys, I know it's not the result you wanted, but this team this season was so special. Can you speak to just how proud you are of not only the guys right here, but the guys in the locker room as well?
I think this year was a special team. I think not only were we a bunch of good players, but a bunch of good guys off the court, and we got friendships and relationships that'll last a lifetime. I had the most fun I've ever had playing basketball my entire life, playing for this team this year, and didn't end the way I wanted to, but I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah, absolutely. More than basketball, coaches. 3 of the best dudes I know, and our whole locker room is just a bunch of good guys. Dudes you want to be around. You want to surround yourself with good people, and that's who Coach recruits, and that's who we got, and brothers for life.
Nick, before we were walking out there, I heard you tell the guys, you'll be back. Don't worry, you guys will be back. Last time you were here in 2019, you were one of the young guys. Now you're the leader of the team. Talk about just the growth you've had, not only as a player, but as a person, what Coach has done to help you get to where you are.
Absolutely. I came in as an 18-year-old kid from Pittsburgh. Had no clue about Florida. Ended up being pretty nice, but yeah, Coach means everything to me. I appreciate him taking the chance on me. A couple years ago, our older guys, said the same thing. We'll be back. It just hurts a little bit, being 0 for 2 here. But I've grew a lot. Coach seen me grow up. I've been here for 5 years now. But yeah, just good memories, and sucks to end this way.
Okay, we have one question virtually, then we'll go ahead and release our student athletes. Nick, 32% from the field, 25% from beyond the arc. What was Black Hills State able to do to hold you guys to a season low number-wise like that?
I don't want to take anything away from them. They're a great team, but, we were getting looks. We had 5 threes and wide open threes at the end of the game to tie the game up, and we missed them all. They're a great team. They're great defensively. They had a great game plan, but sometimes shots don't fall, and that's kind of what happened today.
Awesome, gentlemen. Thank you so much. We'll go ahead and release you. Congratulations on such a great career at Nova. All right, questions for Coach Crutchfield?
Coach, congrats on an amazing season, an amazing run. Can you just kind of talk about the one thing you're most proud of for this season up to this point?
You know, you're proud of how your players play and how they act. And, 31 wins is something definitely to be proud of. But the effort guys put forth, their ability to be coached, the way they respond to each other and to the coaches, that's kind of what you're most proud of. And I think that we have a really good quality group of young men, and it makes losing tougher. If you don't care about people and you don't care about things, losing's not that bad. But when you really, really care, it makes it tougher. And when you got guys like the guys sitting beside me here today, you've been with for 5 years, you don't only want to win, but you want them to win. And that's the kind of thing that you'd be proud of. And it hurts more when you lose, but it makes everything more valuable.
Coach, I'll piggyback off of that real quick while they're passing the mic. Talk about what Nick and Eric, coming back, talk about what they've meant to your program and how they've been a part of getting this thing going.
I mean, they came when I did. I've been here 5 years. They've been here 5 years. And the reality probably hasn't hit me because I've never been here without them. I'll come back next year thinking, where are they at? They're supposed to be here. They're always here. But, when we're trying to do things, in the right way and become a good basketball team, you need guys to step up as leaders that help you as a coach. And I'm fortunate to have great assistant coaches and leaders on the team like Nick and Eddie that make my job easier. And they really do. Instead of me having to tell them constantly how things should be done, I got guys that do it the right way, like those two guys that came in the minute that I was hired almost and have been here with me for 5 years, doing things the right way and showing the freshmen, new classmates, this is how we do it here. So they've meant a lot to me.
Awesome. Go ahead.
Coach, if you could speak a little bit about what you've been able to do at Nova since you took over, breathing life into this program, West Lib South, the style you play, the winning that comes from it. It looks easy, but I'm sure it's much more difficult to put together. Can you just talk about that style and how it gets you here to the Elite Eight so many times?
And it's not easy. It's very, very difficult to do. I know it looks easy because every recruit I've ever had has sat across from my desk and none of them have ever said, I'm kind of a slow down guy, coach, until they actually get on the court and they realize this isn't as easy as you might think. And it's hard to play full court pressure and trap and chase the further you get along in quality competition and the further you get along in the year. These guys have played 30 games. They're better with the basketball in their hands. They're a good basketball team. It's easier to apply pressure early in the season. And I felt like even today, when we applied pressure, we probably paid more for doing, the price of business was a little too high today. They got numbers and they scored on us. And, but we've kind of committed to it. And even though it might have hurt us a little bit today, I don't think that that's going to change. We have an identity of how we play. And it's something that started with me personally a long time ago. So I want to play the game differently. And every guy that came into Nova Southeastern has said, I want to do that too. So it's kind of like before you come to Nova Southeastern University, you kind of know what you're getting into. It's a style of basketball that there's a reason no one else is playing it because it's really hard to do and do it effectively. But it's what we're going to continue to do.
Coach, I have a question virtually for you from Mark Schoenster. You mentioned disparity in rebounding today. Effort has been a focal point and strength of this team all season. What do you think caused such a gap on the floor today?
I think it was mostly Black Hills. I thought, they're strong. They're a very mature team. We knew that going in. They're physically mature from top to bottom of the 7 guys that play, and they go to the boards hard. I didn't anticipate getting out rebounded by 20 rebounds, so I'm a little bit surprised. But we talk a lot about if you're going to win games where you shoot poorly, You have to win the turnover battle, and you have to win the rebounding battle. We won the turnover battle. They turned it over, I think, 20 times. We turned it over 7. But they made it back up with out rebounds by 20 boards. But when you miss 51 shots, that leaves a lot of defensive rebounds. And some of them were ill-advised shots. It surprised me a little bit, but I thought we took, 3 or 4 in the first half, a couple in the second half, at least a half dozen shots where I thought, no, we can get a better one, make them play some defense. And they were shots that we had no one in rebounding position. Our philosophy is high percentage shots with guys in rebounding position. Today, we took some low percentage shots without guys in rebounding position, the opposite of what we really want. And I think that hurt us today.
Final question for you, Coach, from Steven Strom. Past few games, you've fallen into the habit of getting down and having to come back in games. Is that something you talked about before the game, just getting off to a better start?
No, we didn't really talk about it. I think that's kind of a given, but if it's a habit, it's a bad one. We don't want to get behind in games, but we really, we were down a few buckets early on. We figured it's going to be a close game, and we put ourselves in a position in the set. We caught up, went ahead at halftime by a point or two, and we were in position with some pretty good looks to go up 3 or 5 a couple of times. Couldn't cash them in, and they came down the other end, and they did. And there was a couple of times where I actually thought it's going our way. We were getting better shots the second half. We got the ball inside, and our looks were clean from the 3-point line. At that point in time, my thoughts were, we're going to win this game, because that's usually how it works. But the shots didn't fall. They scored on the other end. And next thing you know, a 3-point lead, you miss a shot, turns into a 6-point lead on the other end with a big 3. And then it's fouling from then on in.
Coach, thank you so much for the time. It's been great seeing you, and congratulations on a great season.
Thank you very much.